Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal going through another injury crisis, and Noni Madueke is the latest name to join the list of the injured. He's going to be out for 2 months, according to the Athletic, and Mikel has also confirmed that he doesn't have an ACL, but he's going to be out for a couple of weeks as well. Now, this is a player that has really started off the campaign very well, and he has been deputizing Bukayo Saka. Saka is apparently back because we saw him against Manchester City, but again, we saw him limping during the Ballon d'Or ceremony. That tells you that he's not 100% fit as well. Piero Hincapié is injured as well. Martin Odegaard is just returning. Ben White is just returning. But then we've got players like Kai Havertz who are going to be out for a longer period of time. That has been confirmed as well. So what is going on at Arsenal? How do we cope with this? How do we deal with this? How do we go through this? Because come December, Arsenal is going to need the squad, right? Because December is that month where December and November, those are 2 months where Arsenal drop a lot of points. And then by the time we want to catch up in, January, February, the title is gone. So can we win games, as we struggle with this injury crisis? And maybe if we overcome it, we shall be in a much better position. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Well, let's get into it. Now, it has been confirmed that the latest player to suffer an injury at Arsenal is Noni Madueke. It's been confirmed by the Athletic that Arsenal's Noni Madueke is facing around 2 months out with a knee injury, and in this they can confirm that this is not a groin injury. Sorry, this is not an ACL injury. It is actually just a knee injury. He suffered this against Manchester City when we played them over the weekend on Sunday. And this is such a pity, really, because Noni Madueke, however much I doubted him, however much many people doubted him, he has had a very good start to the campaign. Again, my worries about him have not gone away. You splash 50 million on such a player, and he's very, very good in terms of creating chaos. He's very good in terms of, disrupting the opposition defense. But is he as effective in terms of numbers, and is he as clinical and productive, right? But he's really had a very good start to his campaign at Arsenal. He's really, really had a very good start to his Arsenal career. He's deputized Saka successfully. He's one of the players that we have seen. He plays on that right-hand side. And you're like, well, even if we don't have Saka at the moment, it is okay. It is right. He's played on the left-hand side as well. And not to my satisfaction, but he makes you feel Arsenal have got a player that can deputize Martinelli and deputize Trossard if need be, right? So he's one of those players that we are going to miss, definitely. I miss his chaos. I miss the way he takes on players. I miss his bravery. I miss his speed, runs in behind. I think I've already said that Arsenal need a player like that. For me, my problem with Madueke is the numbers. If he can make us more assists, if he can score us more goals from those opportunities and chances that he's getting, he's a phenomenal player. He's a really, really good player. He's got the pace. He's got the technical ability. He's calm as well, especially in 1v1 situations, doesn't panic. All he's got to do is improve his numbers. But now he's getting injured at a time where Arsenal are not really in a bad situation. And when I say we're not in a bad situation, Saka is returning. Saka is coming back. Now, of course, Saka played against Manchester City, and the impact was visible, clear as day and night. If Saka is back, right, and he can play for the rest of the campaign without getting injured again, obviously Noni Madueke, I'm okay with him being injured for some time and then letting him come back. But the problem is this. Bukayo Saka was seen limping at the Ballon d'Or ceremony, right, that happened just a few days ago, like just happened hours ago. He was seen limping. Now, if Saka is limping and Madueke is confirmed to be out for a couple of weeks, what happens? Well, that leaves us with Max Downman, and that leaves us with Ethan Nwaneri. Well, Mikel Arteta wants Ethan Nwaneri to play more centrally as a number 10 as compared to a right winger. And that's why he brought in Noni Madueke, really. But Odegaard is coming back, right? Odegaard is coming back. I think Odegaard is by default going to be occupying that right half space, in midfield, especially with the fact that he's the captain. And on the left, in the left half space, it's gonna be Eze or Declan Rice. So, with all due diligence, with all due respect, I would say Ethan Nwaneri should be deputizing Bukayo Saka for now. What I don't want to see, and Mikel Arteta makes these mistakes, I don't want to see Martinelli playing on the right-hand side. Because however much we've got many injuries that we can't explain, we can't afford to lose games with the kind of squad we have. It is now time for Mikel Arteta to trust some of these players. It's time for Mikel Arteta to show that he believes in some of these players. Whether it's Max Downman, whether it's Ethan Nwaneri, they will be more effective than Martinelli on the right-hand side. And for me, if you ask me who would be more effective, it would be Max Downman, definitely. But Max Downman is so young, right? And I know in the world, we have seen Lamine Yamal trusted by Spain, and that went really well. We won the Euros. We have seen Yamal trusted by Barcelona, and that really went well. We won as well. We won the La Liga as well. And then we've seen young players trusted in different contexts, and it worked. You have the likes of Jamal Musiala when he was a little bit younger at Bayern. But is Max Downman really ready to take on the challenge in the Premier League? Well, this is the time that Mikel Arteta's got to show us. Is he ready to trust a player like Max Downman, right? If Saka is available, can he give Max Downman 10 minutes? If Saka is available, can he give Max Downman 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Because that is how you develop him into the player that you actually want him to actually become. But there is also a blessing in disguise. And the blessing in disguise for me, when it comes to Madueke and Saka getting injured, everyone is going to panic. Why is everyone panicking? It's because Arsenal usually attack more from the right-hand side. That is there's no question about that, right? It's no secret. Arsenal will attack you better and more effectively from the right-hand side than we do on the left. And I don't know whether that's because Mikel Arteta was right-oriented when he was, still a player. But even this season, when we have had a lot of quality added to the left-hand to the left-hand side of the attack, as is now there. Gyökeres is also left-oriented. We're still seeing Arsenal trying to do a lot of rigorous plumbing and panicking on the right-hand side. And I don't have a problem with it because it really, really provides us with goals, and it provides us with that kind of, reliability with Saka, Odegaard, and Ben White, or maybe Madueke, Odegaard, and Ben White, or Timber. But I think for Mikel Arteta, this is now a test for you. A test that is coming very early in the season. One, you've got enough squad depth, but can you really outmaneuver this period? Can you outmaneuver these challenges, right? Because it's one thing having many players, and it's another thing, being able to use those many players, right? Let's say you have Madueke and Saka, and Downman and Ethan Nwaneri, and you suffer, a gruesome injury. Are you able, do you have the ability to win games, right? Do you have the ability to win games with Saka and Madueke out? So for me, for Mikel Arteta, this is an opportunity for him to, one, trust the left-hand side of the attack, but also, secondly, it is an opportunity for us to attack through the middle. It's an opportunity for us to attack through the middle. Let us see Odegaard and Eze start games, because those two will allow you to penetrate. Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Eze, and maybe Declan Rice. Those four will allow you to use the spine of the pitch, which is the middle of the pitch. And I think Arsenal will create more chances from there. And I think Arsenal will score more goals from there as well. We've got a center forward, and you're not going to feed your center forward by going out wide and crossing and going out wide and, cutting back. You're going to feed your center forward through balls like what we saw over the weekend. Eze into Gabriel Martinelli. So it's a blessing in disguise for me. What is not a blessing in disguise is that now you've got a Piero Hincapié injury that we don't even know where it's coming from. And then you've got this Kai Havertz injury that they're saying is now going to be out for more months than formerly expected. And that takes me to this question. What is causing these injuries? Where are they coming from? Why are we having injury after injury after injury? Okay, we have played 5 games in the Premier League this season, and we have suffered a fresh injury in each of the 5 games. When we played Manchester United, we lost Kai Havertz in that game, and that prompted us to go and get Eze, which was not bad. We played Manchester City just recently, and we lost Noni Madueke. And as if that wasn't enough, we played Liverpool, and we lost William Saliba, right, to an injury. Odegaard suffered an injury against Leeds United, if you remember. And against Nottingham Forest, I think Odegaard was back, and he suffered an injury, a fresh injury again. So what is causing these injuries? Because a few lunatics are going to say it's the manager. But this is where I want to defend Mikel Arteta. Well, Mikel Arteta is not a witch. He's not a wizard. It is 5 bloody games into the campaign, and Arsenal had enough rest. We didn't play in the Club World Cup. And some of these guys, Madueke is fresh. Okay, Madueke played in the Club World Cup. Maybe there is still a bit of fatigue. There is still a bit of tiredness, maybe. But what about Odegaard? What about Saliba? What about what about Piero Hincapié? I can't get my hands around what is bringing about these injuries, and you can't either. And don't blame Mikel Arteta. He hasn't overplayed these players. It is just 5 bloody games into the campaign, right? Now, what is causing the injuries? We don't know. And we don't have the power to know, right? But we have a game today, and we've got to talk about it. Well, Arsenal playing Port Vale, or Port Vale, depending on the nursery school you went to. And for me, the point of this game is not even rotation. The point of this game is not about winning. The point of this game is Mikel Arteta has got to improve his cup record. Honestly. FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Europa League, Champions League. He's got to improve his cup record. Now, for the Champions League, he's greatly improved. I'm impressed. I'm proud. This is a manager that did the semi-finals of the Champions League in 2024 and did the semi-finals of the Champions League in 2025. That is progress. That is real progress, right? But what I'm trying to say is, in cup competitions, we are very poorly off. We are badly off. We perform poorly. And I think for Arsenal to win again under Mikel Arteta, we've got to start with these small steps. What Mikel has been trying to do in the past is he's been trying to skip all these, fast steps to go to the last step. That is actually not bad, but why skip them? Why can't we win the Carabao Cup? Why can't we win the FA Cup? So today we play Port Vale, and I think it's an opportunity to see a couple of players, come in, and maybe this would have been Piero Hincapié's first full start for Arsenal. This is the starting 11 that I would love to see out there, because it will win the game. Kepa gets his start in goal. Obviously, Ryan needs to be rested, unless otherwise we don't want to have problems when it comes to the Champions League and the Premier League. At right back, Ben White is coming back. Should be able to utilize this game as for fitness, obviously. At left back, Miles Lewis-Skelly has not played in a long while. And then at centre back, obviously, Christian Mosquera, because Saliba is back, alongside, that's where the problem is, because it would have been Christian Mosquera alongside Pero Hincape. But I'm thinking Christian Mosquera alongside Ricardo Calafiori. But Calafiori is really, really injury prone. You can't throw him out there. So I would say big Gabi, right? Because Saliba's just come back from an injury. So Gabi alongside Christian Mosquera. We've seen that partnership. It is lit. In midfield, Christian Nogard comes in for Martin Zubimendi. There is no question about that. You've got to rest Martin Zubimendi. Mikel Merino, for me, he should be playing in cup competitions, not in the Premier League and Champions League. This is his game. And of course, in the number 10, we should be able to see Ethan Wanyeri. In attack, Max Downman should start in this game. I think Gyökeres needs this game more than any other player to boost his confidence, to showcase what he's got. And then, obviously, Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard should be starting. I'm leaving out Eze because for me, Eze is going to be important for us over the weekend when we take on when we take on Newcastle United, and we cannot, we can't afford to lose him. So we've got an injury crisis, but we've got a game to play. And at the moment, our squad depth is still withstanding all the injuries. So we're still good to go. See you soon.